This student was a real troublemaker. The teacher asked him to read a sentence in English, and he actually invented his own language to read aloud. The teacher was furious. She has never taught a student as bad as him.
Get out! Get out of my class!
She sent him to stand in the corner. On a math test, on a simple question like, what is 3 times 9, he chose a bizarre solution. He thought that the 2 numbers were planets, and he was the leader of the universe. He was in charge of moving the 3rd planet to meet the 9th planet. Then the 3rd planet hit the 9th planet hard and destroyed it. So the boy came up with the answer. 3 times 9 equals 3. The boy was confident. He was going to get a 100 on his test. His classmates asked him how he did. The boy said with a smug look on his face. The questions were really easy, but he got a 0 in the end. How did the boy deal with his parents? Let Kay tell you all about it. The boy got a 0 on his test. He needed his parents to sign the paper. He was afraid of his parents scolding him. So he had an idea. He called 2 dogs, and they immediately ate the paper. When he got back, he told his parents. The dogs ate my paper on the way home. They beat him up. The boy's name was Ishan. He picked up a classmate's ball and threw it outside the school. The classmate was so mad at him that he put Ishan in a chokehold. When Ishan got home, he saw his classmate's parents. They came to the door to demand compensation. Ishan's father didn't even ask for it and slapped Ishan across the face. Ishan's bad behavior was egregious. He was described as the worst kind of child by teachers and parents alike. The teacher told Ishan's parents that Ishan had 0s in all his subjects. The principal said the boy must be mentally retarded. He was nothing compared to his brother's intelligence. To make matters worse, Ishan's brother was the top student in the school. Ishan, on the other hand, was in 3rd grade. He had already failed twice. Ishan even made his brother fake a sick note and then skip class so he could go out and play. The principal wanted Ishan expelled from school. Ishan's father was furious. No matter how bad his son was in school, he couldn't be mentally retarded. At most, he was just spoiled. So he called a friend and transferred his son to a boarding school, hoping to help his son and change his personality. This is the strictest boarding school in history. Any student who misbehaved would be reduced to sheep's clothing. Ishan had never left the house. He watched his parents' car drive away. As tears of sadness streamed down his face, was he really abandoned? His mother and brother didn't want to leave Ishan either. But for Ishan's sake, they had to leave him. What Ishan's parents didn't know was that Ishan wasn't good at math or language, but he was good at art. Ishan didn't need to read instructions to finish a 10,000-piece puzzle. He could put it together quickly and accurately. While he was on the street, he saw a child eating a lollipop. He then went back and put it on a piece of white paper, using yellow and red paint and water, creating a beautiful gradient. He then drew this child eating a lollipop. When Ishan knew he was going to leave home, Ishan drew a continuous drawing hand over hand. Ishan was gradually leaving his parents and brother. But Ishan's talent was unknown. He could only suppress his sadness deep inside. In the middle of the night, when no one was around, he hid in the bathroom and cried. When he finished, he washed his red eyes with water so that no one would notice that he had cried. Now that Ishan was without parental protection, he became cautious in class. Do you think this boy is a genius or an idiot? The teacher asked Ishan to explain a poem. Ishan said, what we see and feel is the truth, and what we cannot see or feel is falsehood. The teacher was so angry that his head almost caught fire. In fact, Ishan told the true meaning of the poem. But the teacher thought he was a problem student. He instinctively thought Ishan could not correct him. In art class, Ishan was always distracted. The art teacher threw a piece of chalk and brought Ishan back to his senses. Then the art teacher made Ishan extend his hand and hit him 5 times. Ishan's hand was swollen and the pain was unbearable. So some tears ran down his face. But he did not cry out loud because here no one could protect Ishan. Crying made Ishan a laughingstock among his teachers and classmates. So Ishan wiped his tears and continued his lesson. This boy was very unusual. In English class, the words in Ishan's eyes were like little dancing men. In math class, the numbers were disappearing. Not only did his grades not improve at this boarding school, he also became silent and irritable. He threw all his books in the trash can. He threw his bag out of the building. But all the materials Ishan saw turned into spiders. They crawled into his neck and desk. They tried to eat Ishan's body. Ishan was so scared that he slapped the spiders to death. Eventually, the teacher gave Ishan a nickname, the King of Stupidity. until a new art teacher came. And here Ishan finally got out of his predicament. This teacher made his first appearance in an unusual way. He dressed up as a clown. He did 3 jumps in a row. He sang, he danced, and he played the flute for the students. He got a lot of applause from the students. This teacher's name was Ram. His teaching style was out of this world. On his first day as a teacher, he gave his students free rein. They drew whatever they wanted. But Ishan's paper was blank. Ram discovered, Ishan was constantly being punished by other teachers. When Ishan saw Ram, Ishan unconsciously trembled with fear. Ram became aware of this special kid. So he decided to pay a home visit. To get to know Ishan better, Ishan's parents showed Ram Ishan's previous exercise book. However, there was a drawing missing from the book. Ram was shocked. He didn't realize this kid could draw. So he looked at Ishan's other drawings. One of them was very interesting. From the front, soldiers were digging a tunnel. From the back, soldiers were escaping through the tunnel. Even an adult wouldn't think of such an idea. Are there really geniuses in this world? Ram told Ishan's parents that Ishan is not an idiot. He is a genius at drawing. Ishan's father said with disdain, "Don't be silly. What's the advantage of drawing?" Ram opened Ishan's English book. Ishan writes B instead of D. He writes D instead of B. This is a gross error in judgment. In other words, Ishan has dyslexia. He can't coordinate his visual and auditory information. Ishan's father disagreed. He thought Ishan didn't like studying. Ram saw that he didn't believe him. He picked up a toy box. It was written in Japanese. Ram asked Ishan's father to read it aloud. Ishan's father was angry. "I don't know any Japanese." Ram didn't give him a chance to argue. "You're too arrogant. Your attitude is wrong." Then Ishan's father realized something. It turned out that he never understood his son. He didn't understand his behavior or what he was going through. He just blamed Ishan. Ram said, "This is what Ishan is dealing with now. He can't recognize the alphabet." So Ishan's confidence was destroyed. In turn, he used his rebellion to cover up his inability. Now Ishan's rebellion has disappeared. He even gave up drawing. Ram knew that. He wanted to help Ishan regain his confidence. How do you help a child find confidence? Ram was in the classroom. Take the famous painter Leonardo da Vinci for example. Leonardo da Vinci had dyslexia. He always wrote sentences backwards. Ram shined a mirror on the board. The sentence became natural to Ishan. Ishan's eyes lit up when he saw it. He had found something that interested him. Ishan suddenly realized that an idiot could be a genius. And here he finally smiled. By the end of the class, Ram told Ishan alone that he would shine someday. Ishan regained his confidence. In his outdoor art class, he no longer stared into nothingness. He took things from the ground, like twigs and leaves, and made a floating water wheel. Ram showed it to his classmates. Everyone applauded Ishan's invention. Ishan bowed his head in embarrassment. Ram saw that Ishan had become more confident. So he began teaching him one-on-one. Ram taught how to read English words, to increase Ishan's interest in learning how to raise an idiot to be a genius. Ram wrote the letters of the alphabet on Ishan's arm. So Ishan could feel the shapes of the letters. Then he used different watercolors to distinguish between similar letter shapes and to add and subtract numbers. Ram wrote positive and negative numbers on the steps and let Ishan jump up and down the stairs as a way for him to calculate addition and subtraction accurately. Each time, Ishan got better and better. Ram played with him with acclamation. And indeed, Ishan fell in love with learning. With this artistic way of teaching, Ishan admired every number and every word. His test scores got better and better. But that was not all. Ram had organized a school-wide drawing competition, and he had a special gift for Ishan. And at that moment, Ishan's father arrived at the school to tell Ram that he cared about Ishan and that he hoped Ram would not misunderstand. Now listen to what Ram had to say. Once upon a time in the Solomon Islands, when the natives wanted to cut down a tree, they formed a circle around the tree, and they cursed the tree loudly. And within a few days, the tree died. Ishan's father felt very guilty because Ishan was the tree. They were the parents, the ones who had turned Ishan from a genius into an idiot. Ishan's father was walking out of Ram's office, and suddenly he saw Ishan. Ishan looked at the drawing competition on the bulletin board. He read it word by word. Ishan's father began to cry uncontrollably. On the day of the drawing competition, Ishan, who had never known how to button or tie his shoes, cleaned himself up. The genius boy was going to a drawing competition. He combed his hair carefully. He carried his drawing tools on his back. At dawn, he went to the riverbank and looked into the distance. When the time came, he went to the competition. All the teachers and students were here to draw in harmony. Ishan did not panic. He chose a lonely tree. He took out the oil paints his brother had given him. Ishan began to draw his masterpiece. Rem watched Ishan. He got into the drawing mood too. For this competition, Rem brought a professional judge to choose the first place winner. Ishan was a fast painter. He quickly handed his drawing to Ram. Ram was shocked. Ishan's painting was of him sitting by the stream outside the school, with trees, flowers, fish, and animals, all coming out to play. It was like a scene of the earth coming to life. So Ishan went to the river. In Ram's painting, Ishan was laughing heartily like a happy teenager. Ishan was shocked. He felt the happiness he had been yearning for from this painting. Ishan's painting won first place. When the judges announced it, the audience applauded. Ishan was overwhelmed with sudden excitement. He stumbled and fell on the stairs. Rem immediately rushed to Ishan's aid. He carried him to the stage. Ishan received his first award. This was not only an acknowledgement of Ishan's strength, but also a sign that Ishan's life had turned for the better. From that moment on, Ishan was no longer the king of stupidity. He was now a talented artist. But Ishan did not take the award right away. He turned and threw himself into Ram's arms, because only the two of them knew how hard it was for him to receive this honor. The hardships, the blows, the mockery that Ishan had endured, it almost destroyed him. Fortunately, he met Ram. Ram saw something in Ishan. He never gave up on him. He taught him patience and care. Ishan regained his confidence. So this honor belonged to both of them. After that, the principal drew Ishan, the cover of the school brochure. To continue this honor, Ishan's parents were shocked, and they were very grateful to Ram. And at the end of the day, Ishan was in Ram's arms. Ishan flew into the bright sky. That's the end of the movie. Thanks for watching.